Please like, subscribe, and share. Your likes and shares can help us take Athenium and Northeast to the world. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay connected on Facebook for regular content.
Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to this second part of today's interactive session with Dr. Anvesha Mohanto. In the first part, she spoke to us in a very lively way about Hotria as a dance form, the way she was inspired, her how she carried it out to the larger world and its reception, the way she sees it as it stands now. And in this part, we are going to discuss more about Hotria as a dance form and the way it is related to academics and the different academic pursuits that she has undertaken in order to promote this particular dance form. So I would like to welcome Anvesha Mohanto once again, Dr. Anvesha Mohanto once again to this platform.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Thank you so much, Athenium Northeast, for creating this beautiful platform of sharing and learning. And I really enjoyed my first session, and I'm looking forward to this second session of interaction.
Dr. Mohanto, you have received the Charles Wallace Fellowship to conduct research in Queen's University, Belfast. So can you talk to us about this fellowship that you received? Because there might be young researchers who might be interested in this particular area. So how do you, how do you go about it?
Sure, I think that's a beautiful opportunity which is offered by British Council, and anyone who is interested in pursuing a Charles Wallace Fellowship can definitely log in to British Council website because beautifully it's been described the whole process. The only thing as one of the alumni of the fellowship, I can say that you need to be very sure about what research you want to conduct and which area. Like there are various areas of Charles Wallace Fellowship. So which one you want to choose, why you want to choose, and with a very good research proposal. So your selection criteria depends on your research proposal. So otherwise, other details, everything, once you submit that proposal, you will be called. Sometimes it demands an interview. Sometimes you might also have to appear for the IELTS exam. And, rest your entire, the whole selection criteria depends on the research proposal. So my area, my time in Queen's University Belfast was, again, a rewarding experience. And it was a sort of, a short-term postdoctoral work, which I wanted to carry in the field of um, performance studies in terms of also in terms of the materialistic culture, studying the whole area of materialistic culture through the idea of performance. So that was something which I really wanted to work upon, and I worked with I was stationed in the Queen's University Belfast in the Department of Cultural, in the Department of Anthropology. And there again, we had a wonderful dialogue with the faculty over there. I took few classes in the university, then also conducted workshops over there. And then personally, in terms of my research with the entire archival work which I had, which the university had, I worked with that. Then I worked with the British Library, I worked with the British Museum. So that way, I worked, and it was a beautiful, fruitful period which I had during the Charles Wallace Fellowship.
Okay. So some areas of research which you would like to suggest to our young scholars, like often they don't know which area to go ahead with, or they come with questions like, what do I research upon? Since you have already been in this particular field for quite some time, would you suggest some?
So you want to, are you referring it to the area of dance, or as such, just the whole idea of how one should choose a research topic? What
No, it's mostly dance.
About dance, okay. So, dance again, like we have literary studies, like we have cultural studies, like we have performance studies, dance is also a discipline. Now, when we talk about an academic discipline, you can interlink it with various other disciplines. So, right now, I mean, mostly in some of the research scholars, I have seen, as I go through few research proposals and few come to me also in terms of discussions, I've seen there is a tendency of repeating the same kind of research which our other, our seniors have already done a wonderful work. So of course, a research cannot end in one research, right? We can extend it. That is definitely open. But also we have to think about how can we, dance studies is also part of humanities. Dance studies is also part of, how can we connect it with other social science? So one can also study from the terms of gender point of view. One can also study from the from various areas of cultural studies and relate it with dance. So there, once you think about it and you do a grassroots, level work of your, the subject, you will see that there are various areas which you can explore. Also, as I said in the earlier thing, when we talk about performance, it's an experience. And when I again say experience, experience is not something only which is felt, right? It connects a network of relations, what I feel, what I see, what I perceive, and various impressions that leave. Now, saying that, with those impressions, I can work and cultivate to a research. So performance studies or dance studies is something that is, that helps in shaping that experiential knowledge, and it's a gateway to that whole new world of theoretical constructs. So through those experiential knowledge, we can work on. So when I say that, it again opens a huge area. So as I said, one can opt for various areas of cultural studies and study. One can also, from a literary student, a literature student, can also connect it with dance and study dance and literature. Here, I would also like to say that, I was a part of IIT Guwahati program as artist in residence. And we had Center for Creativity. So in Center for Creative, and my students were all done, technology and science student. So now saying that, but they were very passionate about their, learning Satriya dance. And for them, some of them came as a kind of, release their stress, because they are very clear what they want to pursue ahead about with their academic interest and their profession. But I wanted to engage their passionate involvement of dance, Satriya dance, to their academic interest. So we had certain research presentations by the students who were involved in Center for Creativity in the area where a civil engineering student connected dance. Now, how can that happen? See, when you are doing a civil engineering student, you are studying about various, physical spaces, constructions and physical, constructing structures in physical space. So I wanted them to study about the dance floor. How can we layer it? Dance floor is one, that's a very practical thing, because we were working, we were discussing about the auditorium, what level of auditorium, how can, to what level the raised platform should be there, which is comfortable for an audience. Should it be an amphitheater? What suits an Indian performance context? So those are some of the very interesting areas which we tried to work. Then there were students from humanities who were relating dance and economics. So dance economics, studying various societal demands of, price and, market price and all those things, and relating it to arts. What happens to traditional arts? So these are some of the areas. Then again, a student of design. So she was working on, the dynamics, virtual dynamics, which we work in design. So she was working those dynamic design, that engagement with, again, the engagement which happens in dance. So these are some of the areas. Another student I remember, she was working in neuroplastic and treatment of dance which can help in Alzheimer, treating Alzheimer. So very interesting areas. So
Yeah,
once you open up that experiential body of knowledge, you can interlink it with various disciplines. And as I said, dance studies, dance itself is an interdisciplinary wing, which you can connect it with to various areas.
yes, this is something very new. Like we never think of IIT and dance, or like
Yeah,
IIT having a center for creative
yes,
work, or some creative writing, or
yes.
some creative art form. So we never think of that, and this is totally
Yeah, no,
very
even
innovative.
because I thought, like, if I'm there, if I can engage their passionate involvement and their academic interests. So bridging of arts and technology, or bridging of arts and science, that would help them in understanding the entire engagement, whatever engagement they are having, be it in dance or be it in the academic, into something which is very creative, and at the same time which society needs. It's a practical
And
requirement of the society right now.
yes, and their entire outlook towards life as a whole, like not straight jacketing things.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is pure arts, and this is not meant for us. That is
yes,
pure science, and I am a practical minded person. So
yeah.
life is not straight jacketing.
Yeah, I
That's
always feel that,
great.
these straight-jacketed things, it just limits our vision. If we open up, open our gates, there are so many things to explore. And I think my first step towards was, my own PhD work itself, which which connected me, and that's like, baby step, I say, because it connected me to so many areas, and whatever works I have been doing later on, research, each step is like, I'm trying to explore something. And this also helped me to work something. But unfortunately, Center for Creativity is not active now. So let's see how we can carry forward that area with other research projects. Yeah.
But still, I believe with this, with whatever you said and how the way you shared your experience, many people who are interested in dance or are thinking about doing some kind of research, okay, and something new, will definitely be benefited from whatever you shared just now.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. And in case someone is interested to work further or need any suggestions, I would love to help or guide any one of them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also came across you have a number of publications to your credit. We have very limited time to talk about those publications, but I came upon some interesting titles, and one of them was the Kshatriya dance and Shastric memory. Is so what is this Shastric memory? I never came across Shastric memory. I came across collective memory and some national memory, but what is Shastric memory?
Yeah, basically, it's a coinage which was explored, which the whole thing, again, as I said, with the experiential knowledge. Now, when you talk about Hotria, or for that matter, say any community performance, be it in Assam or any, or take any traditional performance which has lived on generations after generations. More than textual references, it's the oral memory that has
Yes.
preserved, that has lived many body memories, or cultural memory, which we say. Now, when we talk about Hotria, more than references of the text, so of course, we have Honkodev and Srimanto Honkodev and Sri Sri Madhavdev's texts as literary evidences
References.
of Bhakti period, and also some of the later apostles. And we have a huge Bhakti literature. Now, apart from that, that whole experience, see, when I say about, as I said, Hotria, it's not just a dance, right? It's theater. And when I say theater, apart from that literary text, the range of performances, performance movements, vocabulary, all those things are also part of that, right? So, but that has never been documented. Only documentation is your body. Only documentation is the experience, the live experience. And that live experience happens, as a performer, one who is learning it, and also as an audience who is seeing it. Like it can be you who is watching that performance, and it can be, I as a, presenter or performer. So in that, and then I will pass it on to another generation, like I'm teaching the next generation. So generations after generations, it has carried on. And that memory, which has been passed on generations after generations, it becomes the primary text or the primary reference, rather than the book, which becomes a sort of secondary reference. Now, when I say Shastric tradition, see these performances, when in this entire span of 600 years, it has gone changes and transformations, and it has evolved in such a way where various regional contexts have also become a part of it. There have been variations. We don't know how these have been inspiring each other, which we say variants of loka tradition or desi traditions, how it has influenced each other. It's not like, Satriya is only influenced, but Satriya has also influenced other traditions. So yeah, it's like, as I said, network of relations, how it has been interlinked, you cannot say. But what happens is the body which carries on. Now, the performer mostly will refer at the first time to that primary text, which is the body memory. And then comes this, so those primary texts will also sometimes refer to Shastras, which are again, those Shastric knowledge is also handed down as a body memory. So my tradition, my training, we during my childhood period, I have never gone to any of those Shastras. I have never read that, like, as a primary text. But it has been part of my training. How? Referring to that Shastric memory, which has been passed on as an oral tradition. So that is how
interesting,
yeah. So that is what is the Shastric memory, which I tried to explore in that write-up. And those who are more interested to know about it, one can go for the journal by Sangeet Natak Academy. That write-up is available there. So it has been explored in details in that.
There is another publication where you have spoken about the hybridity ideas of Sri Honkodev. So, how would you explain that hybridity and Mahaprabhu Honkodev?
See, again, hybridity is a part of it's a theoretical definition that that's a part of cultural studies, and a lot of literature studies students have also come across it. Now, again, I would refer to performance and the experiential knowledge. Now, when we talk about it, there is a reception and perception happening. A dialogic process is happening, at both levels. Now, when that in that whole process of reception, how at the first instance, the performer getting introduced to a new form, and then coming from a background which could be a new, something like, for example, I just would like to cite an instance. Say for instance, I'm from outside, like, from abroad, any country, and I have a different, my entire background is steeped in a different setting. Now, from that setting, if I come and get introduced as a learner to Hotria system, of knowledge, that itself is a new introduction. And what happens to that impression which leaves in this body to this interaction? So hybridity, when I say, is that exploration of that self, performing self or performing body, which explores that in between space. And from that in between space, how one evolves and finds the path of liberation.
Okay.
So that's what, it's not just straight way, ideas of hybridity, the
Yeah.
way commonly understood, like, taking
Yeah.
things and taking,
Yeah.
but when we take it as a embryo, so the concept of hybridity came from that cross pollination, right? And that embryo concept is there.
Right.
And what stands is that finally is that, how it grows and stands on its own as an individual.
Yeah.
So finally, with this cross-pollination, in a sense, where what I was trying to say from I'm coming, with a different cultural memory, or
Different.
background steeped in altogether in a different setting, and getting introduced, and then exploring that self, performing body, or the self of the performing body. Now then, once I present it again at a various level, that whole process of interaction of reception and perception happens between you and the audience.
And
So audience, also just imagine if I go to New York and present it, the audience sitting in the in that theater house has come from a different setting, and I am presenting it. And when I'm presenting it, it's not just me, and Vesha who is presenting it. I'm presenting a whole legacy. So what happens to that in between space? That interaction is the in between space. So that is what, that interactive space is what it stands. Which in that work, if again, I would like, if someone who's any researcher who is interested to study, it's published in a work called Dancing Mosaic, and published by University of Malaya. So it's been explored in details. So I tell that area, that in between space, as intersubjective space, that connection.
yes, so we can also talk about, yes, some ongoing projects, like you spoke about the Pragyatika Dance Festival, where you also where you not only promote the Hotriya dance form, but also uh, lesser known lesser known forms like Ujapali and um, various others. Okay, you spoke about that. So would you like to talk to us about some ongoing projects, and at the same time, anything that you have done or you plan to do, where you could not just promote Hotriya dance, take it to a larger audience, but at the same time, we can also talk about promotion of other lesser known dance forms of Assam.
Yeah. So this is also my entire Pragjyoti International Dance Festival is also a sort of giving back to my land, because when I was working during my PhD period, I came across some of the community performances which even I was not aware about, like, and in due process, I worked with the practitioners. So and one, of course, Ojapali, I was aware about it because it belongs to Dorong district, and my maternal family is from Dorong district. So that way I was aware about it. But along with Ojapali, there are traditions like Dhepa Dhulia, the
Yes.
Khulia Bhauria. So these are, lesser known. Then we
Mm.
have Dhulia Bhauria. And also we have performances, orchestral performances, where Bodhol, Joy Dhol, these are played with vigorous movements. So when we say dance movements, it's not just like, dance per se, but along with the orchestral performance, also there are a lot of dances happening. So Assam is a land which is a paradise of performance traditions, actually. We have so many performances, and it's a land with so many, we have with a diverse ethnic community. Like Assam is a land of diverse ethnic communities, and each community, we have so many performances. So saying that, if we can present these performances, like I also mentioned about Bharigan, a Ramayana tradition amidst the Rabha community. So these are some of the performances which deeply inspired me during my PhD period, and I really wanted to project it in a bigger platform where other people can also see the presentation. So that's how we also brought Bharigan performance in um, Pragjyoti festival. We also presented the Dheppa Dhulia performers. Beautiful tradition, orchestral presentation. Apart from Hotriya itself, the dance itself, we also presented the Mukha Bhavna, which is also a part of Hotriya tradition. The Mukha Bhavna, wearing masks, they present the Bhavna, because I also worked with the masks. So that is again one area which I really wanted to explore. So that's how. Then again, Kerai. Kerai is a performance from the Boro community. So I worked in that area where, and I, even in my research publication also, and in one of the symposiums I presented about the Kerai performance. So that the true, as I said, I divide my entire performance understanding in terms of as a practitioner, as a researcher, and as a presenter. So even in my future projects, I will try to, my plannings are to explore more in these areas. As a practitioner, I have a lot of choreographic work which is getting planned in terms of which I can present it before the art lovers. And at the same time, I can in that area, I'm working on certain literary pieces which are not usually explored. So that as a choreographer or as a dancer, as a learner, I want to work on that. As a researcher, to work on those lesser known areas, that is also one of my aims to carry forward in my project. And then as a presenter, to present these art forms in a bigger platform, to speak about it, to present, to curate on it would be really, it's something which I am looking forward to it and eagerly want to work on it.
Well, thank you, Dr. Anvesha Mahanta, for sharing your experiences with us in such a lively manner. It
Thank
has
you
been
so
great.
much. Thank you
It
so
has.
much, Priyanka. And
It has.
an audience, just I'm saying a
My
background
privilege.
chat to you. We really had a great time during our student days, and I'm feeling that I'm spending time with Priyanka, with our host, in
Thanks.
the faculty canteen in Guwahati University.
Yeah, like it was, it was very good knowing you as a friend. Okay, too good, and now seeing you on the other side in a different platform, getting to know another facet of your life, something which we rarely talked about when we were students. Like
Yeah.
we didn't know, like I didn't know to talk about all those things. I don't even know to talk about things now. Okay, but your experiences will definitely have thrown light on varied aspects of Hotriya dance, and our audience will have definitely benefited from your experiences. We look forward to more work from you. We expect lots and lots and lots from you in the days ahead. And our best wishes are with you, so that you give this land what it deserves. You have given, and I'm sure you'll give more in the days to come.
Thank you so
And
much, Priyanka, for those kind words and inspiring words.
no, very honestly, I have never come across anybody dedicated to, in my limited, you can say, limited environment, in the limited number of people that I have met, I have never seen anyone so much passionate about, what they have chosen. Like very few people are like that. And Our best wishes on behalf of Athenium. Yes, I would also like to thank Athenium for giving me this privilege to, interact with you like
Thank
this.
you so much, Athenium, for creating this space. And once again, Priyanka, for allowing me to share so much, to talk so much.
So,
Yeah, thank you so much. I look forward to more and more interaction also, as if someone wants to talk more about or learn more about any of the if someone needs any research guidance, I would love to interact. So as a practitioner, we love to interact. So the
we love to interact.
interaction is also continues
Definitely.
apart from this limited time of our virtual session. So thank you once again for creating this beautiful platform of sharing.
Thank you.